In the world of business, knowledge isn't just power, it's your unfair advantage. This is Momentum, your deep dive into the books that shape the world's most successful leaders. Let's begin.
You were the best at your job. You closed the most deals, you wrote the cleanest code, you designed the absolute best pitch decks in the company. So, naturally, you got promoted.
And now, you are absolutely miserable.
You're working 10 hours a day, jumping from back-to-back meetings, putting out fires, answering endless Slack messages, and at 6 in the evening, you stare at your screen and think, what did I actually accomplish today?
Nothing. You accomplished nothing because you're still trying to be the best player on the field, but you're supposed to be the coach.
It is the single most common trap in modern work. You are drowning in what feels like intense labor, but your actual output has completely flatlined.
To fix it, we have to travel back to the 1980s, to a man who essentially invented the operating system of Silicon Valley.
Andrew S. Grove. Andy Grove was the legendary CEO of Intel. He took them from a struggling memory chip company to the undisputed king of microprocessors, and he wrote the definitive survival guide on how to run a team.
The book is High Output Management, and I don't use the word definitive lightly. Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Andreessen, Brian Chesky, they all swear by this book.
Because Grove flips your entire understanding of what a job even is. If you are a manager, a founder, or a leader of any kind, Grove says you need to burn your old job description and memorize a single radical equation.
Right. And this equation is going to sound obvious at first, but I promise you, the counterintuitive part is coming, and it will completely change how you look at your calendar at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Here is the equation. A manager's output is not the work they do. A manager's output equals the output of their organization plus the output of the neighboring organizations under their influence.
I have to push back on that, because when I first read it, it felt like a total cop-out. It sounds like Grove is saying managers don't actually do any real work. They just sit around and take credit for their team's sweat.
I know. Stay with me. Because the reality is the exact opposite. Grove is saying your personal productivity no longer matters. If your team fails, you fail, even if you personally worked 80 hours this week. You have shifted from an artisan making a single chair to the manager of a factory.
And this is where Grove uses a brilliant, weirdly delicious analogy: the breakfast factory.
Picture this. You are a waiter. Your job is to serve a customer a perfectly plated breakfast, a 3-minute soft-boiled egg, buttered toast, and a cup of hot coffee. And they all have to arrive on the plate at the exact same time.
Oh, and you have to do this at scale, for dozens of tables, constantly, without ruining the eggs or letting the coffee go cold.
So how do you do it? Do you just run faster? Do you yell at the toaster? No. Grove says you have to find the limiting step.
The egg. Boiling the egg takes the longest. It is the immovable physical constraint of the entire breakfast.
Exactly. Everything else, the toast, the coffee, the plating, must be scheduled around the time it takes to boil the egg. If you don't identify the egg in your daily workflow, you're just running around a hot kitchen, burning yourself.
So let's translate this from the kitchen to the office. What does this mean for the listener staring at their overflowing inbox right now?
It means you have to stop thinking about your tasks and start thinking entirely about leverage.
Leverage. This is the heartbeat of the book. A high-leverage activity is one where a tiny amount of your time creates a massive, cascading impact on your team's output. A low-leverage activity is you rewriting your junior designer's presentation because it's just faster if I do it myself.
We've all done it, and it is incredibly toxic because when you do the work for them, your leverage is essentially zero. You gained one decent presentation, but you trained your employee to be helpless. And you stole your own time from a higher leverage task.
Okay, plain devil's advocate again. If doing the work myself is low leverage, what exactly is high leverage? Am I just supposed to sit in a velvet chair and point at people?
Not at all. Grove says a manager's absolute highest leverage tool is actually something we all claim to hate.
Meetings.
Specific meetings. The one-on-one. Andy Grove was utterly obsessed with one-on-ones.
But a real one-on-one. Not a 5-minute status update where you ask, are we on track? And they say yes, and you both hang up.
Right. Grove says 90 minutes of your time spent actively listening to an employee, clearing their roadblocks, and aligning their goals can enhance the quality of their work for the next 80 hours.
Think about that math. 90 minutes invested, 80 hours of improved output. That is unbelievable leverage.
But it requires intense, active work. You have to ask the right questions. You have to shut up and listen. You have to spot the egg, their limiting step, and help them figure out how to boil it.
It also means training your team is the highest leverage thing you can possibly do. Grove flat out says if you aren't spending at least half your week training, teaching, and coaching your people, you aren't managing. You're just babysitting.
Which is a painful pill to swallow. It means the reason your team is struggling isn't because they aren't working hard enough. It's because your leverage is in the wrong place.
So let's make this actionable. Tomorrow morning, before you open your email, I want you to look at your to-do list.
Circle the items where you are doing the work of an individual contributor. The code you are tweaking, the email copy you are writing, the spreadsheet you are formatting.
And cross them off. Delegate them, even if they won't do it as well as you, especially if they won't do it as well as you, because they will never learn if you keep rescuing them.
Then look at your calendar. Do you have a dedicated, uninterrupted hour this week with each of your direct reports? Not a group meeting, a one-on-one.
If the answer is no, you are failing the breakfast factory. You are letting the eggs boil over.
This shift, from doing the work to leveraging the work, is the hardest transition in business. But it's also the only way to scale yourself without burning out.
You want to actually lock this mindset in? You need to practice it. Open the Momentum app right now. We've built an interactive scenario where you step into the kitchen. We will test your ability to spot high leverage versus low leverage tasks in real time. It takes 3 minutes, and it will permanently rewire how you look at your calendar. Go to the app and take the High Output Challenge.
And of course, go read Andy Grove's full book, High Output Management. It was written decades ago, but it is sharper, smarter, and more urgent than almost anything published today.
Stop doing the work. Start building the factory. We'll see you tomorrow.